Naspers, as you can see, is down at this point. First Rand also shedding quite significant ground. We know a lot of companies actually went ex-div today, but mostly green across the board. Give us a sense of your view with regards to the market trade in today's session. Does it really have to do with what we saw coming through from Europe, or is this a fundamentally driven rally?
Look, the momentum actually started last week Friday when we had that jobs report in the States. Came in slightly better than expected, followed through today by the Merkel and Sarkozy news as well. So we're looking to push higher. The momentum is behind the market now. We can see a lot of risk is coming back to emerging markets and currencies, as one can see. The rand has strengthened substantially up to about 783. And one can see in stocks as well, a very strong close on the JSE, and I think the market will go a bit higher from these levels.
Do you think it'll go higher? Because we've seen this kind of movement before, Daniel, where we see markets gaining ground on the back of positive news and then subsequently plunging once again because of the negative scenario that is playing out, and scenarios that have not changed as yet.
Well, they haven't changed. A lot of talk, what will be done, what Sarkozy and Merkel will do, which will be decided at the end of the month to try and solve the sovereign debt crisis in Europe. But yes, a lot of volatility, a lot of uncertainty still in markets. It can pan out very quickly, as one can see. Markets are very volatile, can open up strongly and close negatively. I do think there is a lot of momentum behind the markets at the moment, so likely to see further momentum pushing the markets higher.
Let's touch on BHP Billiton. And of course, it's further foray into Australia, and this time we're looking at, of course, uranium. What is your sense? Do you think that it is a good opportunity?
It is more on the copper side. They're looking to increase that copper production. They've got huge demand still from India and China, and they're currently doing 180,000 tons a year there in Australia already. And now they've been granted environmental to go ahead and push that up to 750,000 tons. Which is a fourfold increase, which is a very big increase, and they still have to do a feasibility study on that, which will actually only take place next year. But having a look at their results that they released 2 months ago, all the cash that they have, having doubled their earnings, their net profit, surely that should go through. And they should also create about 15,000 jobs. And they're looking to increase their production. So very good coming out of Billiton.
Would you say, is copper the market to be in right now when you've got copper prices which have come under significant pressure? We're still waiting to hear if China is going to have a soft or hard landing. Is there concern on that front, or do you think this is actually a good time to buy assets of this kind?
I think so. We've all seen China. They've tried to slow that down, or that economy down, numerous times by increasing interest rates, and it hasn't worked. The economy is still growing rapidly, and one can see from the numbers released from Kumba as well, and Billiton. Kumba's results were also huge, really beat market expectations, and Billiton as well, and earnings across the board in all the different commodities were a lot stronger. So I don't think so. I think copper still has a long way to go. I think there's still a lot of demand. It's coming through from all the emerging markets, and not just China and India. It's coming from South America as well, and Africa. So I think definitely now is the time to be investing into that. It's going to be a 10 or 11 year expansion project.
Is now the time to be investing in the resource space?
I think so. All the resources really, you can see a lot of risk coming back to the resource shares. Having a look at on the board, Anglos and Billitons all really performing strongly. You can see Exxaro has bounced very nicely off the 160 level back at 174, 175. So definitely a lot of risk coming back to emerging market resource stocks. Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that you are expecting more legs onto this rally. Does this mean you would be buying at these levels, given the fact that we have seen quite a nice bounce, or do you think there will be more opportunity down the line?
I think there will be opportunities down the line. One can't really say where the bottom of the market is. So, we have to wait and see. But at these sort of levels, a lot of the stocks looking forward at valuations, a lot of the stocks are trading cheap. Anglo's at a PE of 6 or 7, still looking very attractive. Billiton as well, doing this huge expansion plan. I think over a period of time it will prove to be very beneficial to their underlying results. So there are a lot of opportunities. I wouldn't be piling into the market. I think I'd be selectively choosing stocks at these levels.
SAB, there was quite a bit of speculation last week. It's still very much in the market. Do you think that it is a possibility that it could be a takeover target by Anheuser-Busch?
InBev, yeah, look, I think so. It's going to be a very tall order in terms of what they're going to be asking. It's one of the biggest stocks in our market. So I think the price tag is going to be very, very high. I don't know if they'll be able to produce that sort of cash to take over the business. Maybe they'll buy a portion of the business. One can see by the share price it's being supported by that rumour.
Of course, a nice rally today, up 4%.
Yeah, so a lot of momentum still behind that stock on the back of that rumour, as well as the positive market sentiment.
A buy for you?
A buy for me at these levels, corporate action, I don't generally like to trade around corporate action. I think if you are in the stock, it's definitely a hold. I don't know if I'd be buying at these levels. I'd like to buy it on a pullback Perhaps if it pulled back, maybe back to the 250 level, maybe 240. If we do have a big sell-off, maybe it'll get there. But if you're in it, I'd definitely be holding.
Daniel, tell us about what you've been buying and selling recently. Let's start with selling. That includes shorts.
Well, you know, with Stocklet, we've got a whole lot of different positions on. We're currently short a few of the mid-cap stocks. We just taken a short position now in Barlow World. We long MTNs. We like MTN. We think at these sort of levels as well. 128 was quite a big support level, so we're quite bullish on MTN going forward. We think it could reach the 135, 138 level in the short term, and then higher to 140, 150. Yeah, so generally we like the market going forward. We do believe there'll be more rand strength, you know, with the back of the momentum in the market going higher. So we generally like the market. Alas, there could still be lots of volatility depending on what happens in the next couple of weeks. If there is a Greek default, a lot of people are pricing that in. I read an article today that perhaps, maybe it's rumor that some bondholders could lose up to 50%. So, you know, a lot of risk still there. I don't think it's fully off the table, but a lot of risk has been, you know, is kind of clearing slowly.